Hey guys, welcome back to another beer review. Our first one we've actually recorded in about a month. It's been a month here on Best Beers in Me, beer reviews from Maine, New England and beyond. We've been hit with the COVID and we were down a little bit, lost our taste and smell. And then Stephanie got a little infection after that. And tonight, hopefully, we can drink some beer and
hopefully we can do this.
Taste it and smell it. We're going to stick to Maine, as we usually do, quite often. Belleflower, for the first time, is going to make an appearance here. We got Finch and Thistle. It's a 6.8% ABV IPA.
That's a mouthful.
It is, huh? A lot of abbreviations. The grain, we got Blue Ox Yankee Pilsner, wheat malt, flaked oats, and Munich malt. For hops, we got Citra, and we got the house ale yeast, canned with love by Belleflower Brewing in Portland, Maine. Dedicated to offering thoughtful beers brewed with local ingredients. So, that's about all it says for info on the can. Let's get it in the glass. Pouring a very light yellow, like a pale straw color. This is brewed mostly with Pilsner malt from Blue Ox.
You know,
in Maine.
The color of that, I would have thought it would have been like thinner. But it's a
very reminiscent of Allagash White.
It's a very light colored hazy beer.
It's not what we see in a lot of IPAs. It's not super thick, but you can't see through it at all. Can't see my finger through that, even with the bright light behind there. Let's get a nose.
I can tell you I have my smell back.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Citrusy.
Yeah, it's got the citrus hops and it's not bursting with flavor. Now this beer is not super fresh because I picked this up down at Damon's in Bangor with hopes of doing a beer review very shortly, and it's been sitting in the fridge for a while. So it has been kept cold, but it's not super fresh. I don't know if there's a canned on date. No canned on date with Belleflower that I know of. Might want to work on that, Belleflower. Canned on date, very important if you ask me. What else you get?
Just a ton of citrus.
A lot of citrus.
Yeah, although maybe a little bit of pine. Not overpowering, but just a...
This to me, if you've had... You're getting a little pine too?
You are?
No, I'm not. I meant you're also getting pine.
Oh, you're getting pine also.
I'm not getting pine. What I'm getting is very reminiscent. A beer that's pretty popular, Baby Genius by Thistle Brothers. The aroma on that's very, very similar to me.
Baby Genius, I mean, I've had it a million times, but isn't that a fairly light colored beer too?
But that's a 4% blonde ale.
Right. But
this is a 6.8. So I mean, by appearance and smell, I'd expect a little more out of a 6.8. That being said, maybe the flavor might blow me away.
Cheers.
Cheers. What do you get?
Citrusy. So the description on, I think it was Untapped. I don't necessarily get everything that was in the description, but I do get the kiwi. That's the first thing I get is kiwi.
Kiwi.
And I like that.
So you're getting kiwi?
I am.
I'm getting the citrus, the tropical. I'm not dialing as much as kiwi, but
yeah, I guess maybe kiwi and mango, but I do get a light bitterness.
Yeah, I'm getting very light bitterness too.
Some beers, that bitterness just gets you in the back end. Like, it's not like a punching bitterness, but I do get a light bitterness in the back end.
The flavor is following the nose. It's reminding me of a Baby Genius. It's mostly just citrus is what I'm getting. It's overpowering citrus for flavor that I'm getting. It seems very light for a 6.8%.
It is light.
This seems more like, I would say, a pale ale, maybe even like a session ale, not a 6.8% IPA.
So maybe it's just me because of, the COVID and not being able to really have beers for quite a while. This seems very carbonated. Does it to you, or is it just me?
No, it seems pretty normal on the carbonation to me.
Yeah, it seems very carbonated. I will say, I do like this beer. I like any beer that I get the kiwi notes from, this. But I will say one thing, we've only been to Belleflower once, and it was a great experience.
Yeah.
They came right over, sat down, talked to us, explained things, showed us around. It was very welcoming.
That was Zach Page.
I couldn't remember who it was, but
He did. That was it opening weekend or second weekend?
Second weekend.
It was very early on.
I think it was the second weekend.
And he was greeting people at the door that day. He was like the doorman. We got talking a little bit. And he knew how into beer I was, and he come over, like you said, to the table several times and was talking just beer and what their beers were and making sure we were having a good time and that everything we needed anything. He was very attentive, very
it was a very
personable.
Good experience.
Yeah, for never meeting the guy. I mean, I knew his story from some podcast and just knowing what his story was. He started out, actually both of the two guys that started this, Zach and Nate. I'm not sure. I haven't met the other guy, but Bonadies, I think his name is.
I don't know.
Anyways, their husbands and wives running this, and I'm sure there's more people by now, but started out just 4 of them, and they had met at Trillium before Trillium was even open, and they become part of Trillium. Zach was a brewer at Trillium, moved to Lone Pond, was the head brewer at Lone Pond, and then
branched out on their own.
Yeah, I think it was, I can't remember, it was Nate, I think. I should look that up.
Yeah, I've looked it up. It's Nick Bonadies.
Yes, Nick.
And Zach Page.
I was close, Nick. I haven't met him.
It started with N, you were close.
But anyway, so they, like I said, met at Trillium, and I think it was Nick that decided he wanted to start a brewery, and got a hold of Zach, and I think from the story I heard on Graining In was Zach said, if I was going to start a brewery, it'd be with you. And then he decided to leave with the full blessing of Tom Madden over there at Lone Pond. So.
Or Lone Pond, yeah.
So anyway, that's the story on Belleflower. The best I could tell. I don't know it too well. Have not had a whole lot of their beers, but this is a very good beer. It's just not blowing me away. But again, I don't know how old it is. There's no can-on date. And I know I've had it for at least probably 3 weeks. I bought it after I had the COVID, so 3 weeks ago probably.
Yeah. I like this beer, I really do.
And it could have been old by then, I don't know, because I don't...
The only thing I would have to say negatively, and it's really not negatively, it's more of just like constructive criticism, is if I go to a place, say I go to Damon's, or Thirsty Dog, and I look at a beer, I'm less likely to buy it if there's not a canned-on date. Because I don't know how old the beer is that I'm getting.
Right. If you're getting it...
And you know, well, that's okay. With like the stouts and other styles of beers, that's, like, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But with the IPAs, I really like to know how fresh they are, because, after a month, 6 weeks, what do they start to fall off? And I'd be less likely to purchase a beer if I don't know the canned-on date. So
I bought a single, and maybe on the 4-pack it's got the date on that. It's much more convenient when it's on the can, because even if I knew at the time that it was fresh, which I probably did, I don't remember, but I'm thinking that's what it was. Now that I have it, now that we have a delay in drinking it, now I don't know, is it 2 weeks old, 3 weeks old, 2 months old? I'm not sure. Which obviously is going to affect how I perceive this beer based on the freshness, being an IPA with delicate malts like Pilsner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess this might have been a little more hop forward when it was
really
a fresh beer.
Yep. But on a positive note, getting back to, so I've only been really in the craft beer scene for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've never had the opportunity to see all the breweries that we enjoy were up and going, successful at that, when I came into it. It was really nice to see one starting right from the ground up, going that day, having the owner meet you at the door. Didn't know it was the owner, I wouldn't have known, He was seating people, was so welcoming, came over, that was enjoyable, and I hope that they, I've heard good things about them since then. You see a lot of reviews and different things.
A lot of people have good reviews and ratings and good things to say about that.
I hope they continue to be successful.
So I'm in a lot of beer groups on YouTube, and a lot of people are asking, going to Portland, what are suggestions? And you almost always see people say Belleflower.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's a good point I never thought of, that I've seen a lot of the main craft beer kind of grow up.
Yeah, and
you haven't.
No, so they were all, very successful and had been around for a few years when I came onto the scene, and so it was kind of cool for me to see this start right out from the ground up, and I hope they're very successful.
So now I've gotten to this beer a little. Not much is really sticking out other than tropical citrusy fruit. More towards the citrus. There's a lot of orange, tangerine.
I get the tangerine.
Not so much grapefruit on this one. It seems like a very, I don't want to say delicate beer, but it's not in your face. You know what I mean? But it seems like it's a very solid, drinkable beer.
So even though
it
this
doesn't
was,
seem like it's a 6.8%.
I was gonna say, even though I couldn't remember, I thought you said 6. Even though it's a 6.8, it's not an in-your-face beer. So if you're sitting on the deck or mowing the lawn, I know like a Baby G is 4 point whatever. So that's a more crushable beer, but this would be, even at a 6.8, a nice like hot day at camp beer. It's just it's
definitely,
yeah, it's light enough.
It drinks
so
like a session beer.
Yeah, it
a
does.
Sessionable session IPA basically.
Absolutely.
But I'm surprised this isn't a pale. I'm surprised this is a 6.8% IPA. I really am, and I keep saying that. But anyways, what would you give it for a rating?
I would probably give it a 4.2.
I'm going to stick right about a 4 on this one. It's a fine beer. It's a good beer. It's beer I'd drink again. I'd really like to seek it out fresh on draft maybe.
Absolutely.
Let's see what.
And I say a 4.2 instead of a 4. I think because I do get the kiwi, and I like that. So I like the citrusy, but I really like that kiwi has that like melony flavor, and I really tend to gravitate towards the melon flavors, and so I think that's why I would go the 4.2.
Alright. Let's see, Untapped, they give it 866 people have given it a 4.12, and 10 of our friends on Best Beers in Me on Untapped, they give it a 4.22. So our friends like it a little bit, just a little bit more than, but right about exactly what you said.
I was right about there, yep.
So there it is, good flower. Belleflower. For some reason I'm thinking good fire, but that's right in the same neighborhood. Belleflower, Finch and Thistle. If you've had it, let us know. If not, I'd say seek it out, give it a try.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, like, subscribe, share, comment. Let's talk beer. We've had some comments lately, and I'd like to see some more. That's fun to talk beer.
I look forward to the comments.
Yeah, so let us know what you think if you've had it, and if you haven't, I'd recommend it. I would definitely recommend Belleflower. This beer itself's not the favorite I've had yet, but good solid beer.
So maybe it's not your favorite. I would recommend, if you're in the Portland area, checking out the brewery itself. Stop by.
Absolutely. We need to get back down there again now
good
that they've been
experience.
open for a while.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get out of here on this one.
All right.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers,
Cheers.
Stephanie.